I don't think the Crime Bureau can do it, just to be frank with you, or the Highway Patrol. Without the men in this room, it can't be done.
You better not jump on your law enforcement officers and your county attorneys. You better try to educate your juries to go along with the evidence you present to them.
Point number one, that those prohibitory laws should have the enforcement provisions of them and the legal loopholes in them closed to give you a better opportunity and a better chance to enforce those laws the way they should be enforced. Secondly, the position that we took was that we would do everything we could to see to it that there was uniform law enforcement or enforcement of those prohibitory laws all over the state.
The senators were increasingly furious about this. Of course, they didn't know where the leak was, although they knew it was a senator. And Paul's connections there were good enough that he could get it every time. And finally, in the late 1920s, President Hoover appointed Senator Lenroot to a federal judgeship. Well, now, when a senator who belongs to the Gentleman's Club is appointed to a thing of this kind and his fellow members have to rule on him, the first thing they wanted was secrecy. But there again, Paul came out with the full list, which was published. We carried them on the wire all the time. So the Senate was so disturbed by this that they appointed a committee to investigate and subpoenaed Paul Mallon, but he kept these silence and wouldn't say where he got the information. But within a very few days after that, the Senate went back into open session and passed a resolution saying they would have no more secret sessions. So I think what you have in Oklahoma of secret sessions on nominations certainly has had no precedent on the federal level since at least 1929. It's a matter, I think, more of freedom of access to information and the people's right to know than it is a political issue of any kind. I know nothing about the political elements of the case in Oklahoma, but from the standpoint of public information, I think it's important that it be broken down, and I think if all the mass media of the state went to work on it and were in agreement, they probably could break it down.
Ray, what time did you escape jail this evening?
Approximately 7 o'clock.
And how did you manage to get out of jail?
The jailer had brought our chow to us at 6, and I was waiting for her. The door was partially open, and I was waiting for him to come and pick up our empty trays, and when he came, his boy came up to pick up the trays, and when he picked them up, I jumped outside and showed him inside the jail. He got back out and told me that he'd let me out through the front if I wouldn't go down through where his mother was at. I told him, all right. When I got outside, he made a run for it and through his quarters, and I had to follow him down through there. And I went out through the jailer's living quarters.
And then where did you go?
Well, I went out to the Jet Inn 2 miles east and threatened my wife and told her to get in the car.
Where was your wife?
She was working at the Jet Inn. Started tonight.
And where were you captured, Ray?
Approximately 5 miles south and 2.5 east of Red River Bridge.
By whom?
Texas side.
Members of the Highway Patrol?
Members of the Highway Patrol and the Sheriff's Office, Vernon.
We had him inside of a tank, but some way the door didn't seem to be open. He either got it open or it come open some way or not, and the jailer's boy went up to feed him. Running down to the living quarters of the jailer.
Where did you get the knife?
Well, that's some more investigation.
That's a question you're going to have to find out.
That's the question.
And now that you're down at McAlester, a very few hours after you escaped jail, what do you feel is going to happen to you next?
I'm afraid to say.
Are you afraid?
Yes, I am.
Is this the first time in your life you've ever been afraid?
No, it's not. This kind of scare is a little different to what I've been scared of.
And why did you bring Ray Young and his wife to McAlester?
Our facilities there in Jackson County are inadequate to hold a prisoner.
And how long will he remain here until trial?
Until trial.
And do you know when that might be?
Possibility be about the last of March.